Could you give us an introduction to Goldor, please?
So Goldor is a proudly South African company. It was founded by myself about 13 years ago now, and we market the patented and proprietary MACH reactor technology to the metallurgical industry. And I'm also the proud inventor of the MACH reactor.
What is the MACH reactor?
So the MACH reactor is a hydrodynamic Venturi-based cavitation reactor that generates picobubbles. And these picobubbles are actually crucial for the flotation of very fine mineral that is usually lost to tailings in conventional flotation systems. So it has a unique application there. And it's also very beneficial in the gold leaching industry, where it improves the dissolution of oxygen into pulp and improves leach kinetics and leach recoveries.
The MACH reactor has been termed as a revolutionary technology. Could you explain to us how it works?
The MACH reactor, I would say it's revolutionary, firstly, because it employs as its underlying principle the principle of cavitation. And any engineer will tell you that cavitation is something that you steer clear of on a plant, because it causes so much damage to equipment, to pipes, to pumps, etc. So engineers are taught to how to engineer out cavitation from engineering systems. So quite on the sort of reverse thinking or reverse psychology of that, when I designed the MACH reactor, I had to design in cavitation because it is a cavitation unit. So it's almost like thinking in reverse or reversing what you've been taught in order to get this unit to bring about the cavitation effect, which we're using, and we're harnessing that energy positively in the metallurgical world. So we're saying, yes, there is a lot of energy, there's a lot of destruction with cavitation, but is it possible to harness that energy and use it in a good way to achieve things that we want to achieve in metallurgy? And that's what makes it a little bit left of field. Those imploding picobubbles and the cavitation and shock waves, usually a thing to be avoided, but in the MACH, that's the key to its success. That's how it makes some waves.
What are the applications of the MACH reactor technology?
So the MACH reactor is currently utilized for recovery enhancement, and that's the main thing, because that goes straight down to the bottom line. So we improve metal recovery, for example, in a gold leaching system, in the PGM industry, in base metal industry as well. Although this application will extend to industrial minerals and other things as well, as long as there's flotation involved, you'd be able to apply the MACH. And the MACH, on the other side of the coin, also finds application in environmental remediation applications. So it's used for cyanide destruction, for arsenic precipitation, for the treatment of acid mine drainage, and so it helps as well to create a cleaner future.
How is the MACH reactor installed?
Possibly a good place to clarify. A lot of people ask me for a MACH reactor plant when I get inquiries, and it's important to understand that the MACH reactor isn't an entire plant. So the MACH reactor is an add-on. It's something that you tag onto existing plant infrastructure. So there needs to already be a flotation plant there or a leach plant, and you would install the MACH reactor very much the same in principle as you would put a turbo onto a car. So it's just going to enhance an existing process, and it is actually very easy to retrofit onto existing plants.
What is the value proposition of the MACH?
So the MACH differentiates itself in the market not only by being technically superior than other devices, but also requiring zero maintenance throughout its lifespan, which is well over 10 years. In fact, I think it will probably outlast the lifespan of a project, or last at least as long as a project. And this, I'm not saying because that's what we think. We actually have reactors out there that are close to 10 years in operation where we've done zero maintenance, we haven't replaced anything. And when we do inspections, it still looks almost as good as new. Almost too good to believe, but seeing is believing. So we've got a track record for that. The main thing for companies is that, you'll get a recovery improvement with the MACH. And what better value proposition is that? You install a MACH reactor and you get extra ounces out. The cost of the MACH is not that huge, so usually people make at least, if they're renting a MACH monthly, they will make at least 10 times what they pay on a rental. So it makes business sense. And also, the fact that you don't have to do maintenance on the MACH, etc., that also helps with other things like reducing your carbon footprints, etc. If you consider that, you're not flying spares in and out of site, you're not flying maintenance staff in to repair things, etc.
What are the most notable benefits that clients have attained with the MACH reactor?
Well, in one application in the mining industry, the benefits of the MACH reactor were so profound as to turn a loss-making operation around back into a profit-generating asset. And we at Goldo are very proud of that particular application, as there were probably 5,000, 10,000 jobs at stake. And it was quite a nerve-wracking one for us, because we knew that, okay, if the MACH didn't succeed, it was just another one for us. We'd move on to the next client. But if it didn't work for my client, it would be the end of the road for his operation. So we were quite proud that we were able to turn that asset around and save all of those jobs. And then in other cases where projects were close to the end of their life, and we did some investigation on different ore sources for our clients, and we found that they were viable. They weren't viable without the MACH reactor, but they became viable when we applied the MACH technology, and so we were able to extend the life of projects quite notably in that way. And then for companies that are looking to increase value of the project, like many of the companies that were out at the mining Indaba looking for investment, etc., you want to dress up your project and make it look attractive to investors. And utilizing the MACH reactor, doing test work, a bit of research if you need to, at the various research institutions, etc., and using this information to publish in your NI 43-101 or whatever you're doing, or if it's a JORC, at the end of the day, you can use the MACH reactor to demonstrate the full potential, the full recovery potential of your project, and you can improve the project economics, which is what the investors look at.
Okay. What business model does Goldo utilize in its product offering?
So Goldo is actually extremely flexible in terms of how we offer the MACH to the industry. So we're not just innovative with the application of the MACH, and we're not just innovative with the design, around the design, etc. We're also very innovative in how we put business models together to satisfy our clients' requirements. So MACH reactors can be leased if you want to run it, if you run it off your OPEX, so to speak, or it can be purchased if you prefer an outright purchase. And then I've got clients very recently where I've actually had to come up with a very unique rent-to-buy option, where they rent it for a certain period of time, and then, much like you would have a balloon payment on HP on a car, they reach the end of, say, a 2-year period, and then they pay a lump sum, and then the reactor's theirs, because that's what suited them best. So I would say the product offering in terms of what model would be used, leasing or purchasing or rent-to-buy, really depends on what works best for the client and for Goldo. So there's a lot of flexibility there.
How does Goldo help to reduce the carbon footprint?
Well, if you indulge me for being philosophical just for a moment, and if you try to imagine a world where mining operations have minimal extraction losses, so they have maximum extraction, minimal waste going out to tailings dam, that would actually obviate the need to remine tailings dams. So we wouldn't have to reprocess something that's already being processed, and then obviously use all of that electricity again to do something that you should have just done right the first time around, right? So the MACH, I think, enables mining companies to really strive for that maximum recovery and do a final safe, sustainable disposal of the tailings. I remember when I started out in the gold industry, and when I saw poor efficiencies, and I could see that things are not 100% the way they should be, the old timers in the industry would always say, "But why are you stressing? We're leaving that for our grandchildren to treat." Meaning that we'll come back, our grandkids will come back and retreat that tailings dam. And what I'm saying is, perhaps it's time to shake up the status quo, to strive for maximum recovery today, and safe disposal of ore, using the technology of tomorrow, which is of course the MACH reactor.